Tzvi, you can explain us a little bit what is the conservative movement, the Masorti movement?
Okay. Masorti and conservative are the same. It's the Masorti is the Hebrew name for the conservative movement, the worldwide movement of the three important streams in Judaism: Orthodox, Reform, and conservative Masorti. There are 1.5 million Jews of the conservative Masorti movement all over the world, with almost 1,000 communities.
Betel in Mexico is the one that represents.
Betel in Mexico is a Masorti community. There are other Masorti communities in Guadalajara. There are 75 Masorti communities in Latin America, in Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, etc. There are 35 Masorti communities in Europe, almost 700 in the United States and Canada. And in Israel, where I come from, there are over 60 Masorti communities.
What does it mean to be conservative, to be Masorti? What's the difference between Orthodox, Masorti? I don't know.
Right. So, the difference, I get asked all the time, what's the difference between the Reform and Masorti, between Masorti and Orthodox, okay? So...
and modern Orthodox, I think it's now.
What people always know is that we're in the middle, okay? But we're not just about being in the middle, okay? We are committed to halacha, to mitzvot, on the one hand, and we take it very seriously. Okay, but we're also committed to the modern world and to changing where it's necessary to change, because it's not always necessary to change Judaism, but where it is necessary to change and to adapt. Okay, I'll give you an example that some might know. In Bet El in Mexico, there is mixed seating of men and women together. And people from the Orthodox world come and they ask me, how could that be? How could that be Jewish? Okay, so I answered back and I said, the times of the temple, people sat together. Okay, even in the times of the Mishnah, in the Talmud, in the synagogues, okay, there was mixed seating. There's archaeological evidence. When you read the Talmud, when you go and hear all the poskim, all the people who, the great rabbis, there is no mentioning that there needs to be a separation between men and women, and it's really an Orthodox practice from the few hundred years ago, and today it's spread around the world, and people think that's the original Judaism. On the contrary, I see something very beautiful with a family sitting together and praying together. But what's different from the Reform, okay, is that we have traditional services. Masorti means in Hebrew traditional. So we have very traditional services. The prayers are very similar to the Orthodox prayer book. We don't have a lot of English or Spanish, or it's mainly in Hebrew, except for the sermon, so everyone could understand.
But that's also in any community. It doesn't matter what kind of community it is. It's always in Spanish or in most of the time, so people can understand it.
Yeah. You mean also in the Orthodox
exactly.
communities? Yeah, of course. And in that sense, Masorti is really different in much more commitment to Jewish law, but also to the modern world. We sort of like combine it. You could be part of the modern world and enjoy the changes that were done there, together with being seriously committed to your Judaism.
Would you always keep, let's say, all the Jewish laws?
Well, we keep all the Jewish laws, okay, and there are some that are reinterpreted according to some of the values that we live in the 20th, 21st century. Again, for example, the issue of women, okay, and their role in Jewish life. We in the Masorti movement believe that women should have a more active role in the Jewish life, and that's something that is expressed in our kind of Judaism. We don't do anything that's against halakha in that sense, okay? People, in some communities, not in Mexico, but some communities, women in North America or in Israel, women put talit on, okay? And people ask me, how could that be? Okay, it's against halakha, it's against the Jewish religion. So I go to the Talmud, I open it up for them, I go to Tractica Menachot Daf Mem Bet, okay, it's the actual place in the Talmud, and I show them where it says, Akol chayavin betzitzit, kolel nashim. Nashim also, women also have to put on tzitzit. And people was like, oh, we didn't know that it said that here, okay? And then there's one rabbi that says that women shouldn't do that, okay? And everyone chose from the Orthodox world to take the opinion of the one rabbi because of their negative attitude towards women in the public sphere, okay? They want to keep women in home, etc., okay? So we come and we say, okay, no. There are other opinions in the Talmud we could adopt as well, and it's perfect legally according to Jewish custom. We didn't invent anything in that sense. That's what I mean, that we're connected to the Jewish heritage, to the text, to the law, but we also take out these opinions back from the Talmud and other places and revive them according to some of the values of the 21st century.